Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. We're going to talk about Super Bowl 53, which is set. We're going to talk a little Browns, a little Cavs. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. It's an NBA trivia question today. What team owns the longest winning streak in NBA history? And I'll have the answer later in the broadcast. Well, Super Bowl 53 is set. The Los Angeles Rams and the New England Patriots will square off at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia on Sunday, February 3rd. And it's a rematch of Super Bowl 36. Right now, the point spread shows that the Patriots are 2.5-point favorites to win Super Bowl 53. Now, for me right now, it's hard to say which team I am going to pick to win the Super Bowl because both the Patriots defense and the Rams defense are pretty much equal. These two teams are both dynamite teams, and I feel it's going to be a really close game. And I will make my Super Bowl pick next week. And don't forget, 2 weeks from yesterday, on Sunday, February 3rd, Super Bowl Sunday. Do not forget, tune in for a very special extended edition of Scott Sports 101, appropriately titled Super Bowl 101. And we'll preview the game. We'll talk about the halftime show. We're going to relive some great moments in Super Bowl history. And we're going to recap the football season a little bit. And we're going to do a whole lot more, so much more. So tune in for that, Super Bowl 101. On Sunday, February 3rd. And a post-game show right after the Super Bowl as well. And I'm really looking forward to that. And the Pro Bowl, the AFC and NFC Pro Bowl is coming up this Sunday on February 27th. And that's basically it. It's a fun type game, and it's meaningless, but either the AFC or NFC is going to win. But it's going to be a fun game. Now, turning to some Browns news, Browns head coach Freddie Kitchens let it be known during his introductory news conference that the franchise is ready to move on, being happy with a 7-season win. Now, Browns running back Nick Chubb echoed that thought last week when TMZ Sports caught up with him. With Chubb, the rest of the AFC on notice by emphatically saying that the Browns will make the playoffs this next season in 2019. Now, looking at the teams that made the playoffs in the AFC this season, it's not too hard to make a case that the only two teams the Browns need to fear are the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots, because those are both dominant, the two most dominant teams in the AFC East, AFC West and AFC East, excuse me. The Los Angeles Chargers are going to be a year old, and no one is really scared of the teams in the AFC South. Now, within the AFC North, the Browns handily swept the Cincinnati Bengals this season, and we're a few years short of doing the same thing to the Baltimore Ravens. As for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are self-employing, and their better days are slowly falling behind them. So with another solid off-season and a full year of Kitchens and quarterback Baker Mayfield working together on offense, there is no reason that anyone should classify Chubb's statement as anything but stating the inevitable. And I agree with Browns running back Nick Chubb, and I do feel that the Browns are going to make the playoffs this next season in 2019. And I really feel that they are, because I think we're going to have a great year next year, and I feel that we are really going to have a good team. I think we're going to have an even better record next year, and it's not too late to start talking about the 2019 NFL Draft. And either the San Francisco 49ers or the Oakland Raiders are going to have the very first pick overall. The big question is, who is going to go first? Who is going to be the number one pick overall? And I feel it could very well be Nick Bosa. It could be him, but we'll have to wait and see on round one of the NFL draft on Thursday, April 25th. Now, I think the Browns have the 8th pick, the 7th or 8th pick, and they need to get a backup quarterback, but they need to work on the offense. The offense needs to be worked on the most, I feel. And if they can do that, the defense is solid. But I think if they get some good offensive players, they can have a really good shot to make the playoffs and really make a good run in the playoffs. And on Thursday, the draft is, as I said, is Thursday, April 25th. And I will have a very special edition of Scott Sports 101, and it will be Scott Sports 101 2019 NFL Draft Edition. And I will be live from from the Murphy house, the home of my really good friends, Matt and Katie Murphy, and their sons, Gavin and Noah. And my special guest will be none other than my really good friend, Matt Murphy. So tune in for that on Thursday, April 25th. Well, we'll talk about the Cavs game in just a moment. But right now, it's now time for the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. What team owns the longest winning streak in NBA history? And if you said the Los Angeles Lakers, you are correct. The Los Angeles Lakers won 33 straight games in the 1971-72 season, the most in NBA history. And I will have another trivia question on my next broadcast, so stay tuned for that. Turning now to the Cavs. The Cavs lost to the Chicago Bears yesterday afternoon at home at Quicken Loans Arena, 104-88. And the Cavs record falls to 9-39. Cavs still with the worst record in the NBA. The Cavs haven't won at home since December 12th against the New York Knicks. And the Cavs will take on Boston tomorrow at the TD Garden. Tip-off is at 7:30 on Fox Sports Ohio. And the Buckeye basketball team, men's basketball team, will take on the Purdue Boilermakers at Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio. And tip-off is at 7 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. And now, getting back to with the Browns and the feeling that they're going to make the playoffs, I really do. I agree with Nick Chubb. And I really think the Browns are going to have a good team next year. And we're going to get some really good draft picks in the NFL draft, I feel. And I feel it's not too early to start talking about Browns training camp. And I feel that when training camp comes, I feel that the Browns are really going to do well in training camp. They're really going to they're going to practice hard, make some really good changes or moves or whatever they need to do. And I think we're going to have a decent preseason. I really think we are. So I'm looking forward to when we get this new season started. And the Tribe is about 3 or 4 weeks away from spring training in Tucson. And as you know, the Tribe signed catcher Kevin Pawlecki from the New York Mets because we ended up trading Yan Gomes. And I feel he was one of the best catchers we have, but I wish him one. I think Kevin Pawlecki is going to be a good catcher for the Cleveland Indians. And I'm starting to really be ready for baseball. So we shall see. So we'll see what happens when these spring training begins, I think mid-February, I believe. And when the regular season begins, end of March, beginning of April. And that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. And I'll have another broadcast probably not tomorrow, but on Wednesday. So until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day, in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.